Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this is Black Magic is His Life's Work by Jean Peugnot. An article taken from Rosicrucian Digest, Volume 26, Number 4, May 1948. Black Magic is His Life's Work by Jean Peugnot. Special permission from Cavalcade, a well-known British news magazine, was obtained by the Rosicrucian Digest for the republication of this interesting article from the issue of September 20, 1947. Students of mental phenomena and psychology will understand the natural laws involved in this fascinating tale, which to the layman suggests supernaturalism. It is one of the purposes of the Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, by means of its teachings concerning the mental processes, to rid humanity of the hold these superstitions have upon it. Editor. A thin, wiry little man of 60, not more than 5 feet in his stockings, grey-bearded and with a wizened face, is on his way back from the Belgian Congo to Europe. 10 years ago, Dr. Henri Champertin set out for Central Africa to study a subject that has intrigued him since his early youth: black magic. His plan was to live with the natives, to gain their confidence and to remain with them until he had found the truth about African black magic. This task has now been accomplished, and the little doctor is returning to Brussels. The result of his research work has been packed into 12 large cases, his notes, the many records he made. When Dr. Champertin left Europe in 1937, he was resolved to use the latest methods of scientific investigation. His equipment included a recording apparatus, a small electric generator, photo cameras, as well as a well-stocked medicine chest. If there is indeed some occult controlling principle, some possibility of influencing the course of events by magic, this mysterious power should stand the test of scientific instruments, he said then. He arrived at Leopoldville, near French Equatorial Africa, in September 1937, hired 30 native porters, and disappeared from the scene. Nothing was heard of him for 2 years, except strange rumors about a white witch doctor who had come to live with the Nfari people and who made the most astounding cures and miracles. Nfari tribe. In June 1939, he came back to Leopoldville to fetch some new equipment that he had ordered from Europe. He refused to be drawn about his experiences in the bush. "I lived with the natives. I learned their language. I studied their habits," was all he said. 40 black porters brought the new equipment to a village 200 miles from Leopoldville, where they found a small army of bushmen waiting for the doctor. Champertin paid and dismissed the town people and returned back to his tribe. He spent 8 more years with them. Now and then white men, chiefly government officials or doctors or missionaries, came across natives who knew him and heard the latest news about him. They brought back amazing stories about the godlike adoration for Mbonga Batui, man who can do everything, the name that the tribes had given to Champertin. We know about an early experience of Champertin. It was told by the doctor to a Belgian customs officer when the two men met in 1938. Incidentally, Champertin saved the white man's life. "When I came to the Nfari tribe," said the doctor to his guest, "there lived amongst us a certain Toku who was regarded as the greatest witch doctor of all times. I met him for the first time when he was called in by our village witch doctor to find the man who had pinched our headman's golden ring. It was the first time that I saw a witch doctor at work. Toku assembled all the natives round the local taboo. He was dressed in a fantastic costume and made up grotesquely. He danced round them for 3 hours, wailing and howling most of the time. The natives were duly impressed and awed. Suddenly Toku interrupted his dance, pointed to a young man and shrieked, 'This is the thief!' Thief confessed. So indeed he was. The man confessed and led us to the place where he had hidden the ring. I have watched many witch doctors at work since and have found out their secret. The medicine man is usually a very skilled observer who notices the twitching of the muscles of the face of the guilty person and the beads of perspiration on his forehead. As a matter of fact, if is very often a case of smelling out the guilty person, for the fear causes him to sweat excessively, and he is found out by the trained nose of the witch doctor. In addition, there is the local intelligence service of the witch doctor, who first confers in privacy with the medicine man on the spot to get a list of the suspected persons. Well, I soon made friends with Toku and learned most of his tricks. There was, however, one performance that startled me a great deal. Our village was near a little lake, and the frogs used to make a terrible din in the evenings. One night, while we squatted on the ground outside my hut, Toku said to me, "Shall I make the frogs hush?" Miracle of the frogs. Of course, I wanted nothing more than to see him put the spell on the frogs. Toku stood up, faced the lake, inhaled deeply and made some quick passes with his hands, always mumbling some words that I could not understand. Suddenly, the many thousands of frogs that inhabited the shores of the lake stopped their noise. It was like a flash of lightning. The silence became almost oppressive. I listened, perplexed. Not a sound from the frogs. "Ah, Lord, they will not start before I command them," said Toku, very pleased with himself. I could hardly wait for the following night. I had rigged up my recording set and had hidden the microphone near the place where Toku used to sit down. As soon as he appeared, I went inside and started the machine. I came out and asked him, "Can you command the frogs again to be silent?" He was willing enough. He stood up, made his motions with his hands, mumbled his incantation, and the frogs were hushed by his magic. I made a record. "They shall be silent until the moon comes out," announced Toku. I sent him away and started at once with the little wax disc. The recording had been a success. I heard myself asking Toku to use his magic against the background of a frog concert. I heard Toku's reply. And then the human voices were silent. But all the time the frogs continued their cheerful concert. Then against the background of thousands of full-throated frogs came Toku's voice. "They shall be silent until the moon comes out." I've not yet found out how he does the trick, how he hypnotized or mesmerized me without even looking at me. Yet he could not deceive a recording machine. I've seen his magic work with 10 and 20 people at the same time. Once he did the trick with our entire village. Yet although I have not told him, it does not work any longer with me. He died of a curse. There is only another incident known about Dr. Champertin's 10 years amongst the natives. In January 1946, the 3 white doctors at the Municipal Hospital of Thysville, south of Leopoldville, saw a strange procession approach the building. 4 natives were carrying a sick black man on a primitive stretcher, and a white man dressed like the others, with a sauta, a loincloth made by the natives, walked beside them. "I'm Dr. Champertin," said the white man in a matter-of-fact voice. "I want you to examine this sick man. He is dying of a curse. I'm very interested in this case. Could we have x-rays and clinical tests right away? He is scheduled to die at noon next Friday, in 10 days' time." Thus, the strange case of Kulugu became medical history. The sick man rested motionless on his stretcher, his eyes closed, his fists clenched. "He was a healthy lad 4 days ago, before he violated a sacred taboo," explained Champertin. "The local witch doctor, a man of great influence, cursed him to die in 4 weeks' time. That would be Friday. I examined him immediately after the death sentence had been pronounced with the usual tam-tam. He was then in perfect shape. His temperature was normal, though he showed some signs of severe mental stress. His condition worsened rapidly during the following few days. He could not sleep. His temperature rose to 102 degrees. His pulse weakened. I decided to rush him to this hospital to put the curse to a full clinical test, so to speak. It took us 10 days to come here. All clinical tests failed to discover the cause of the man's illness. No remedy could help him. They were baffled by the fact that adrenaline and other heart drugs showed no effect on his heart. Slowly and depressingly, his strength failed. The vital functions of his body seemed to fade out, obeying a mysterious law. When the fatal Friday arrived, the doctors decided to keep a constant watch at the patient's bedside. Shortly before noon, he opened his eyes, saw Champertin, and whispered a few words in his native tongue. He said, "Lord, now I'm going to die," translated Champertin in a hushed voice. 10 minutes later, he was dead. His vital organs had stopped working. The post-mortem brought no explanation. There was definitely no evidence of poisoning, of lethal drugs, or of any other outside interference. "I can only say that he died of fear," said one of the doctors to Champertin. "How do you explain that he died at the exact minute?" asked the other. This question remained unanswered. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.